Welcome to Baylord TV with Ingram Jones. Today's show, January 4th, 2013, Baylord presents a boxing special with boxing promoter Michelle Rosado.
Good evening and welcome to Baylord TV. I'm your host Ingram Jones, and tonight we got a boxing special. Female boxing promoter Michelle Rosado, who promotes King Gabriel Rosado, is on the show. King Gabriel Rosado is challenging the man known as Triple G for the middleweight championship of the world, which will be screened live on HBO on January the 17th. So without further ado, let's talk to Michelle. Good evening, Michelle. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you for talking to Baylord TV. I really appreciate it.
Anytime. Thanks for having me on.
No problems. First of all, got to give a shout out to ATG Radio.
Absolutely.
Because of Timmy, he set the interview up. So big shout out to him and everyone over there. They're doing a fantastic job with the radio. I listened to it the other night and they gave a fellow UK reporter, Coogan Cassius, the reporter of the year. I'm sure those in America are probably not too happy about it. That's tough luck. So moving on, this is about you. So I know a little bit about you, but I'd like you to tell me and tell the fans who Michelle Rosado is. I did say your name right?
Yes, Michelle Rosado. You know, I'm a girl from back east, and I've been living in Phoenix, Arizona for about 8 years. And I got into the boxing business about 2 years ago. Boxing was on a big decline in Phoenix. There weren't a lot of events. A lot of fighters out here were having a hard time staying active. They were taking a lot of fights in other people's backyards, going to Cali, Vegas, Texas, and there just wasn't a lot here. And I actually met a fighter and got involved with a fighter who was turning pro. And little by little, I started almost managing him without even understanding what I was doing. And I just started calling matchmakers and promoters and getting them fights and kind of learning the ropes a little bit. And I got to see a lot behind the scenes of what went on as far as with promoters and matchmakers and the commission and going to these meetings. And a lot of times shows were being canceled and venues were being relocated and contracts were changing. And it was a nightmare. And I just thought there's got to be a better way to do business than this. There's got to be a better way. It cannot be like this. And so I just finally decided, you know what, I'm going to try to do this myself, and I'm going to do my own shows. And so April 8th of 2011 was our first professional event. Okay,
but you did, what made you go into boxing? Fans would ask the question, okay, 2 years you got into boxing, but what was it that sparked you to move in that direction?
Well, I've always had a passion for boxing, and
helps.
like many girls, we grew up watching boxing with our fathers. And my father was a huge, huge boxing fan. I just remember, that was when family would come over. That's when we would cook big dinners. And that was a special connection that I had with my dad. Instead of playing Barbies or planning my wedding, I was outside having a catch. I was watching boxing. So, and he passed away in 97, but his passion for boxing lived through me. So, I always had big fight parties and I was always at all the boxing events. And it's kind of ironic how now I'm in the business now. I would have never knew this. I mean, it's a dream come true.
Wow. I did read a little bit about your background in terms of your mentor, Jackie Kallen.
Oh, yes. Jackie is an inspiration to me. I remember in the year 2001 when her movie came out.
Yes.
Against the Rope.
I saw that.
And I remember,
excellent.
Yeah, and I watched that movie 1,000 times. And while it wasn't based on a true story, it was inspired by her story. And I remember watching it 1,000,000 times and thinking, wow, that woman is phenomenal. And then, a year and a half ago, I was contacted by theboxinginsider.com because she writes for them.
Right.
And we connected and we spoke on the phone and she did an article on me and we became good friends. And next thing you know, she's mentoring me. And
right.
She's who I call when I'm having a difficult time, when I don't understand what to do, when I don't understand how to react. Sometimes when I want to blow up, I call her and she says, you know what, just never let them see you sweat, take a deep breath, You'll get through it. You know, do this, do that. So she's been everything to me in this business.
Well, you have a great mentor there. For those who don't know who Jackie Kallen is, Jackie Kallen, if I believe rightly, was James Toney's manager?
Yeah, she was dubbed the First Lady of Boxing.
Wow.
And she managed James Toney. She was Tommy Hearns' publicist. She managed other boxers as well. I think underneath of her, she's got 6 world belts.
Wow.
World champions, yeah.
Wow. So, you know, and James Toney's no one to joke and laugh about. I mean, he's done it from middleweight right up to heavyweight. So, you know, top class fighter. And of course, Tommy Hearns, everyone knows who Tommy Hearns is as well.
Oh yeah, and if anybody really knows James Toney, it's not easy, you know, to work with him. And she worked with him. She worked with him for many years. I mean, nobody tells James Toney what to do, but they had a good working relationship, and you know, they still have a strong relationship today.
Wow. So, okay, you enter the boxing world as a female after Jackie Kallen, and okay, you're Puerto Rican, right? Am I wrong?
Yeah.
In that? You are Puerto Rican. So
yes.
I'm going to ask the questions. I mean, from the UK, it's going to be a little different. This interview that I'm doing with you is in the Caribbean. I'm in the Caribbean. I'm in Grenada at the moment. So I didn't want you thinking I'm in the UK. So a place called Grenada. Now, being Puerto Rican in America, was there a problem or a challenge for you moving forward?
I had a lot of challenges, and I still do. Number one, I'm in the West Coast. I'm in Phoenix, Arizona. The Puerto Rican population is tiny. And so I'm away from my culture. I'm away from my people. I grew up in, you know, the outskirts of Philadelphia with a lot of Italians, Black, Asians, Puerto Ricans, and I come out here and it's just different. And, you know, it's very Latino, but it's more Mexican. So right away, you know, people were resistant a little bit because I was a woman, number one. Mm-hmm. Number two, I'm not from here originally. Number three, I'm Puerto Rican. Mm-hmm. So I heard all types of things. I mean, racial slurs. I still hear it still today. I'm called names. I get thrown under the bus. A lot of sexist things, a lot of rumors. And, you know, I've learned how to deal with those now. I would say 2 years ago, I wasn't too good at dealing with it. I would kind of react and I would get very upset. And now I kind of roll with it. You know, if somebody says something nasty, I kind of just roll with it and I laugh and I agree with them. You know, if they're like, oh, you know, you had to sleep with everybody in the business. And I go, yeah, I did. That, you know, just don't tell anybody I did. So, you know, now I've just had to roll with it.
That would be a common thought that would go through most narrow-minded people's heads. Yeah, Misha Rosado, she probably slept with everyone to get to where she's today. She didn't do hard work and dedication, you know. But there are some people in the world like that. That doesn't mean everybody's like that, you know. But for you to be where you are, hard work and dedication, you know, take my hats off to you for what you're doing. And some of the photos I saw you with Bernard Hopkins. You talked about Philadelphia, Bernard Hopkins. The Midwest, they talk about people in the Midwest, what's his name again? Not Floyd Mayweather, his uncle, Roger Mayweather, says the best fighters come out of the Midwest. What do you think?
I don't know about that. I'm a little biased. I say the best fighters come out of Philly, Detroit. So I you know, I guess Detroit is Midwest, but I'm still gotta rock out with Philly. We've got a lot of history there, a lot of legends, a lot of up and coming fighters. I work with Gabriel Rosado. He has a huge fight in January against GGG, and he came from, you know, nothing. I mean, he never signed a huge promotional deal with anybody. He never had huge management behind him. Blue collar fighter, and now he's fighting for a world title. Philly guys know how to grind. They know how to fight, and they fight.
Now, I mean, how did you get involved with Rosado? Because I know that he's not actually a relation of yours.
Yeah, no, we're not. A lot of people think we're sisters, cousins. I'm his wife, but we just have the same last name, and we happen to be from the same part of the country, you know, in Pennsylvania. But I do his marketing. I do a lot of his marketing management with his branding. I do a lot of his sponsorship development. I do his media relations. And you know what? We talked about it a few times. This year, he had a stellar year. We finally got to meet face to face in Philly back in April or May. And it was a done deal. It was a good fit. We have good chemistry. We work together well. We're both extremely loyal. We're both passionate about what we do. And we just took off running. And it's been a great working relationship ever since.
That's excellent stuff. So, I mean, I did see some of the video. I saw some videos with him fighting. Oh gosh, who was the last opponent he fought?
He fought Whitaker, Charles Whitaker.
Charles Whitaker, yeah.
The King Islands. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. I saw and I did tweet that video out. But I believe he was trying to call out Saul Alvarez down at light middle.
Yeah, he did. He called out Canelo at 154. Yes. You know, that we probably knew that wasn't really going to happen anytime soon, but it would have been a good fight. It would have been a good marketable fight. It would have been a good step for Canelo too, fighting a true, 154 pounder. Well, and a Puerto Rican. I mean, that's the best rivalry in the world, is the Mexican-Puerto Rican rivalry.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So now he's stepping up to middleweight to fight I would say, the most feared middleweight in the world. In GGG. Now, you're going to have to help me pronounce that name, because I can only just about say Govolkin. So if you can say the other two G's, then I'll just say Govolkin at the end.
You know what? We've been calling him Triple G.
Yeah, let's stick with that.
Yeah, I think it's Gadandi Govolkin, but Triple G works. And, when the talk started about the fight, we were excited again, but it wasn't 100%. I mean, I think that this kid was offered, or 15 different fighters were offered to fight Triple G, and they either all turned it down or they were outpricing each other. And out of the 15, there was only 2 that were real serious about it and that were really up for the challenge. One of those being, Gabe Rosado. And so it looked like it was going to happen, and then it looked like it wasn't, and so we weren't sure. And then when it finally did go down, I mean, we were celebrating, we were happy. It's going to be a really, really good fight.
You were celebrating fighting Triple G. Boxing fans know Triple G, and that man is a beast, right? That guy's knocking everybody out. However, your boy, he likes knocking people out as well, and he's going to come to fight. So what's he going to do if he becomes world champion?
We'll celebrate some more. I don't know what the next step is going to be, but we're going to savor the moment. A lot of people get caught up in the hype too. HBO is calling Triple G an animal, a monster, and it's kind of like he's not human.
Well, yeah, they do that.
And so right now everybody's eating it up, and I get it, but Gabe had a standout year in 2012.
Absolutely.
And he was knocking everybody out, and he's a tough guy, and he's always been the underdog. So he's used to that. And, Gabe has the ability to adjust. He's got an old school trainer in Billy Briscoe, and he's more multidimensional. In my opinion, Triple G is a straightforward fighter. He's a one-dimensional fighter. I think the guy who's able to adjust the most is the guy who's going to be victorious, and I think that is Gabe, and I think he's going to be a lot faster than Triple G that night.
Wow. There are some people tipping him to win the fight, to be fair. I did hear on ATG radio. Shout out to them again. They were one of them. I don't know who it was that actually said it. They said that they could see the upset. They could see the knockout. They could see Rosado getting a knockout. So, and these guys know their stuff. So,
yeah. And like I said, Gabe is used to being the underdog. He started in the game late. So he had to take fights with top-notch guys throughout his career. He wasn't fighting slouches. He wasn't spoon-fed. No. He wasn't signed to a major promotional deal. So all those adversities and tough fights that he's been through have prepared him for this. So he is more experienced. And, these are challenges that he has had to overcome before. When stuff gets tough, he knows how to deal with it.
So this actual fight, I know, is Govolkin I hope I'm saying his right name, Govolkin, or whatever his name. Look, if I say your name wrong, mate, I'm sorry, I do apologise. I really do.
Triple G.
Triple G, yeah. Let's stick with Triple G. Sorry, mate. Triple G. So Triple G, is this fight is it an HBO fighter at all?
It is. It's an HBO fight, and it's the main event fight. It's on a huge stage at the Madison Square Garden in New York.
Wow.
And I'll be there, and I can't wait. The city of Philadelphia is backing him 1,000%. New York, Puerto Ricans, a lot of people think he's going into Triple G's backyard because of his promoter, but we're engaged backyard at the end of the day.
Wow, it's it must be exciting to be a part of something like that. Have you got any other fighters on the bill that night?
No, I actually have my own fight the night before in Phoenix, Arizona, and I have local fighters on that card.
Okay.
And I have scheduled 8 professional fights, and
Okay.
I'll be literally leaving the venue on Friday night, jumping on a red eye, and landing in New York Saturday morning to
Okay.
hopefully get some rest,
Okay.
at least get my hair done,
All right.
and be there for Gabe.
Tell me a little bit more about your fighters and the people you've got in your stable, who you've got and who you're promoting.
Yeah, I don't have anybody signed. I do work closely with a couple fighters though. You know, my whole goal was to bring boxing back to Arizona and to help revitalize it, not necessarily sign a bunch of guys. It was more or less, let's keep them active, let's keep them here in Arizona. But I work really closely with a fighter named Emilio Colon Garcia.
Okay.
He's a super bantamweight. He fights with his heart. He's really, really good, and he's a little crowd favorite, which also makes him a little bit hated on too. But he always puts on a good show. I have a light heavyweight. His name is Bobby the Beast Lopez, and he's got a lot of potential. There's a kid fighting on my card who I like to call him the Arturo Gatti of Phoenix, because every fight he's in, it's like a war.
It's a war.
And it's blood, sweat, and tears, literally blood, sweat, and tears. So, you know, I've got some really good guys on the card. I don't like recycling fighters and opponents, so I'm always trying to, like, discover fresh talent and put new faces on the card.
Tell you something, have you ever considered taking any opponents from the UK and fighting some UK fighters?
Well, you know, one thing is I don't ever try to pretend to be somebody I'm not. I'm not top rank. I'm not golden boy. I don't have thousands of dollars to fly people in from all over the world. So we focus on local talent.
Okay.
And, you know, if we need to bring somebody in from Vegas or New Mexico or California, that's nothing but a drive.
Right.
But no, we haven't. I can't bring anybody from the UK.
Well,
I don't have that type of money.
Well, who knows? You know, when your boy wins the world title, he might want to make a defense of one of our boys in Britain.
Oh yeah, then.
Hey, think about that. You know, could fight, if he's middleweight, then he could fight maybe Darren Barker or Matthew Macklin or I don't know. So you got those guys there. So I wish King Gab Rosado the best of luck in his upcoming bout. Do you have a link for your website?
I do. It's www.ragingbabe.com. All of my event information is on there. I also have other Raging Babe females under me that are in the boxing business, and they're the movers and shakers. So check those girls out and make sure you follow them. I do want to say that my event on January 18th will be streamed internationally, nationally, online through GoFightLive.tv.
Excellent.
And it will be free for our soldiers in Iraq and Afghanistan, for the troops.
Excellent stuff. Absolutely excellent stuff. And what about Twitter? Do you have a Twitter account?
I do. You could follow me at @M_RagingBabe.
Okay, that's excellent stuff. Misha Rosado, thank you so much for talking to Bayloric TV.
Well, thank you so much. I'll do it anytime. Thanks for your support.
And I would love at some point to be talk to King Gab. That'd be fantastic as well.
Let's make it happen. You just let me know when. We would love to talk to the UK fans. And actually, one of the UK fights I'm hoping happens this year is David Price and Tyson Fury. So that's one of my fights that I would love to see make happen this year.
Well, it's quite funny because I'll be doing an interview with Tyson Fury possibly next week. I'll be talking to his uncle as well. So, you know, I'm sure they'd love to, you know, that fight to happen as well. Thank you so much.
All right, bye.
Well, that was
my interview with Misha Rosado from Phoenix, Arizona, the boxing promoter. I hope you enjoyed the interview, and I look forward to having your company again. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.